Okay folks, I'm going to do a quick tutorial on some effects that you can play about with, which would allow you to create a kind of stencil effect of an image. So to begin, what I've done is I went to Internet Explorer, just searched on Google for an image. I decided to choose something kind of iconic. I guess that when I turn it into a stencil it should be recognisable, which tends to be the case when a lot of this style of artwork is done. So I'm just going to open up the file. So we go to File, Open, saved that already. Here we go. I'm going to begin by duplicating the layer, so I've got a copy. So just right click on the layer, call that Edit. Now there's a couple of different ways you can go about doing this. I've looked at a variety of different tutorials over the past, and really it's just kind of trial and error. It depends as well on the image that you're working with, and that contrast you have between the kind of the light and the dark areas. So the first thing that we would look at doing is converting this to a black and white image. Now there's a couple of ways you can do that. You could use your adjustment layers, but what I would do is create an adjustment layer above the image. So what I'm going to do is actually just desaturate this whole layer, or this image layer, which will in turn it to grayscale or black and white. So there we go. Now under image adjustments you also have this option, threshold. If I click on it, what it instantly does is try and split up just into black and white, and that might be suitable enough for getting the desired effect that you're looking for. But there are some other ways of playing about with it, or preparation before you use this technique. And they can be found down here in your adjustment layers. So select that first of all. I'm going to look at the brightness and contrast, and I'm just going to play about with my light and dark areas, okay, just to try and split them up to begin with. Okay. Another one I'm going to have a look at is my levels layer, and that's going to allow me to play about with black, grey and white. Just playing about with the sliders to try and get the desired effect that I'm looking for. And in turn this should help when I then use the threshold technique. Okay, so I'll give that a bash now. So I'll go back to image adjustments and threshold. Now I'll need to go back to the edit image here and use the threshold as opposed to using it on the adjustment layer. I'll have a look at that. Let me just go back and try that on top of the adjustment layers just to see what it looks like. See, there's nothing really appeared there. I like to do that. So what I can look at doing here is flatten or merge these layers together, all three of them, to try and create desired effect on how this looks at the moment. Remember that this image is made up of a series of layers. So I can merge these all together by holding down the Shift button and selecting all three layers. Right click and click on merge layers, and that's going to merge the three of them together. Now I can go back and try the threshold. And I'll get a bit more control over the look that I'm going for. Click on OK. Now, another effect that we can have a look at is, or some filters rather, could also help strengthen this. Under artistic we have this effect called cutout. And if I zoom out a wee bit, you'll see what it's doing now. You've got a couple of kind of properties you can play about with here. Number of levels. I just slide these, you'll see the difference it makes, if any. We've got the edge simplicity. Decreasing that adds a bit more definition, and increasing it, as you can see, changes it. The edge fidelity kind of tends to sharpen or smooth off some of the edges. Okay, just these levels just now, so due to the fact it's just really more black and white, there's not really any kind of great effect. If you were using this technique with a number of colours in it, it would look at trying to kind of separate those by decreasing or increasing them. Okay, so if I was happy with that, I can hit OK, and that's me kind of generated my stencil cutout. And it may well be that I'm just looking for a selection. I'm just really looking for his head here, so I'm going to use the crop tool and select this area. I'm just going to increase that slightly just so to take part of his hair, and I'll bring it in a wee bit, and I'll hit the tick to confirm that. And there we go. And if I flick between the two, there's my original photograph and there's my stencil cutout, and it may well be that I'm looking to try and kind of remove this area here surrounding it. You could simply just use a rubber, or you could look at using your mask technique and the brush. Using the black should remove it. Now what that's actually going to do is, and this is because of the colours we're using, but with it being black and white already, is it's actually just removing simply the same as a rubber would do, and taking it right back through to the layer below it. However, I can still paint back by using the white. So if I make any mistakes or I feel like I've taken off too much, so this may seem like it's just having the same effect as the rubber, but in actual fact, I've got a lot more control because I can easily just bring it back. So I'm creating my own outline here. Take my time. Again, zoom in where possible. For the purpose of this exercise, I'll just do it quite quickly. Okay, now what I can do is generate a new layer and just simply fill that white with the paint bucket, move it underneath, go back here, and I can generate tidy up any kind of areas that's been missed. And there's my stencil. I can do the same thing as I've done before and select these two and merge them together to combine that image into one image now, and flip between the two of them, and that's my stencil technique.